What up, guys and girls? Another brand new video coming at you today, and we are finally back for AOR Oceania F2 Season 2 on the Xbox One. It is great to be back in AOR after a few weeks off between the new season, between the old off season and this season, so really looking forward to it. I will also point out that AOR is now being sponsored by Elgato Gaming. They do very good quality products. I use an Elgato HD60 to record my videos, which you're seeing on screen now. And the other new sponsor on board is Hype Energy Drinks. I don't care if this is not the slogan, I'm going to use it. If you're not hyped, get hyped with a Hype Energy Drink. Whether they take that on board or not, I don't know. But yeah, we're back. It is a little different. The calendar will look a little different compared to what it was in Season 1. Well, there's going to be more rounds in Season 2, considering it was only 10 rounds. We joined pretty much midway through last season, so it's a little bit compacted. It's fairly similar to the calendar to what the 2018 F1 calendar looks like now, but you'll be just watching now the qualifying highlights right now. But yeah, most of the gang that raced in F2 last season, they're back for another season. A few guys may have either moved on or not decided to continue, but there is a few new people on board this year. Captain Farah, you may know him from my Aussie Sim Racing videos. We've also got WF1 Ricardo, we've got Luxury Lizard, and the legendary Conrad Strait, or Steve Bingham as we're all calling him. And you have to put him in capital letters, but yeah, we welcome all those new guys to the league. You can see their qualifying run. I think first run was a 23.2. I was going to go for 2 runs initially, but yeah, in the end, just obviously got a invalidated lap time for corner cutting turn 1. It's very difficult to know where your turning point is going into turn 1 there. But new season, what am I expecting? Well, it was a great fight with Owens last season, and I will point out that he has now joined me as teammate this season in the red of Ferrari, so I managed to source him out of the Mercedes garage and into the red of Ferrari for this season. So definitely we will be pushing each other and hopefully having a crack at the Constructors' Championship, which of course Owens pretty much won it on his own in Mercedes. But yeah, there's a bit of few people have moved around and whatnot. A few combinations have stayed together, like you'll see in front of me. Michi there and DT, they're still a combination, but have moved up to, let's just say, better equipment from the Sauber to Red Bull. So they're definitely ones to watch throughout this season. Also, what was the Force India boys last season of Zombie Hunter and the DJR TP17, they are now in the Renaults this season, but that combination is back again, as you can see now. And pretty much, yeah, there's a few others as well. Like I said, few people move teams. You'll probably see it throughout the whole this video as well. But we did have one notable absentee from this round, which was that laggy person who was unavailable for this weekend. But yeah, other than that, we had, I think it was about 13 odd runners at the start of the season. We were missing Is That Matt as well, but you see here just going through on the second flying lap here. We're actually going purple in both sector 1 and 2. Not necessarily sector times, like the fastest overall, but you can see there, I think my teammate just went to the top there. But we're just going to come across and finish our lap, which will be a big improvement. We go from a 123.2 to a 122.6, but as you can see there, Michi out of nowhere comes and gets provisional pole. So I'm going to leave you with the onboard lap of Michi and let's see how he goes around Albert Park. And a few other people didn't improve or had their lap times invalidated. So Mitchie gets his first ever AOR pole position. So congrats to him. Owen's up there, my teammate in P2. Finished up in P4. Wasn't too bad. I mean, we've got probably a better race setup than quali setup. But it's time to go racing. The Australian Grand Prix. Well, welcome to the grid, as Martin Brundle would say. Hopefully you enjoyed that little intro that the AOR guys have put together for this season. It was absolutely beautiful weather for the first race of the season. This race strategy, it's really, I always plan a one-stop race, and I think majority others may be going along the strategy. I will point out what happened with a few others down the back of the grid, but we're all set, I think, for round number 1 of race 1 of season 2. 5 red lights. Let's do it around Albert Park, and it's actually pretty good stuff from a teammate. The other Red Bull, I think it's DT 360. It's a good start. I back out of it into turn 1, but oh no, there's my teammate. That's not the start he wanted, the reigning champion. May have got a little bit tangled up with Mitchie's car. We'll may see a few replays of it a bit later on, but up into P3 we go on already, and the Red Bulls are leading the way. Mitchie over DT, but these guys are still going to battle it out, and we sort of gapped the field a little bit. But it's going to be a long, long day for the reigning champion. Now at the back of the pack, he may have copped a bit of front wing damage, so did a thing, have a look up the inside of DT, but you see there, just runs wide coming out of a turn 9, sort of 10 area. I'm just pacing myself here throughout these early laps. I don't want to get any damage too early, but you see there, we try and get a good run here. DT runs a little bit wide out of turn 11 and 12. So again, this time I have a bit more of a think about it, and I'm going to go down the inside here at turn 13, go side by side. DT still has a little bit more momentum, but now coming around 14, he just runs a little bit wide. This time going to have another dive up the inside here at 15. Going to go side by side. Can't go, the driver's going to do the switchback here. Gets a little bit sideways, does DT. That was a very, very great move, I must admit, as Mitchie comfortably leads the way on lap 1, but that was a nice crisscross move we did, and now we're up into P2. Now we're just going to go chase after Mitchie, and that's the side I did not want to see, my teammate already in the lane. So, like I said, not a great start, but now it's all about chasing after Mitchie. You sort of gapped us a bit early. I was very surprised that he gapped us that far. Anyway, probably because DT and I were battling a lot, but you can just see through here now, just trying to push on as much as we can. You can see going purple through sector 1, I think it was, as well as through this into turn 12 and up into 13 section now. Slowly but surely creeping up to the back of the Red Bull, pushing on as much as you can. You can see that getting a bit wide. Oh no, we've lost Exodona. So he's the first casualty of the F2 season in Australia. So he's not had the greatest of starts. He did join mid-season last year, so he probably would have got off to a good start. But you can see there, we set the fastest up of the race. Mitchie did have it for a little bit, but we set a 25.9, I think it was. But let's go have a look at a few onboards. Here's a replay from DJR TP17, our man Penske. It's a good start compared to WF1 Ricardo there, and Exodona's got the big X on his gamer tag, but he's a bit squeezed here as Penske with WF1 Ricardo. There's my teammate off in the distance. Ricardo's lagging all over the place here. Will Penske have a look up the inside? No, thinks very cautiously. He knows it's a long race. He wants to get good points here for the Renault team. He gets here a good run here, and I don't know what the hell Ricardo was doing, whether he had a big moment or not, but the lag does not help. But there goes Penske up the inside. This was all what was happening while we were battling up in front. So You're not missing much anyway. Now here's a replay from his teammate, Zombie Hunter, who started all the way back down in 12th. Unfortunately, he got his lap times invalidated during qualifying during both runs. Now, I dare say if he didn't get his lap times invalidated, he probably would have been up a bit longer. But Oceania also got a little punted into turn 1 there. So Zombie is going to be doing, you can see now he's on the complete opposite strategy to everyone. There was a very lagging, possibly R8K, I think it was, who's moved across to the Haas this season to join that laggy person. But yeah, not the best of starts for Zombie, but he does have pace. He would have probably initially been up there with most of us. But here's R8K. Like I said, he's moved across to Haas this season. So a pretty good start to him. There goes Owens off to the right there. He dropped a few spots earlier on, but you can see there just having a look here on, I think that Zombie Hunter. Thinks about it going down the inside. Oh, there's a bit of lag on his side of things, I think. So that really put him off. He lost a heap of ground there. Now, he's on board with Captain Farah. He's pretty excited, I must admit. I am good mates with him. Pretty excited to get this season underway. He's been on a little break from league racing side of things. You can see that's all the chaos going around. And actually, the captain got caught up a little bit. Nearly got tangled up with Owens. That would have been a little bit awkward. And he's dropped back all the way down to 10th at this stage. You can see now he's putting, Conrad made a big mistake there coming out of turn 10. The captain may put on a little bit of pressure here going into this fast 11-12 section, which probably has called out a lot of guys, I should say. You know, he just didn't have the greatest of runs there, and I think just backed out of it in the end. But, that must have been Luxury Lizard, I think, in the other Mercedes. Oh, captain got a little bit caught up on the what do you call it? The barricade, not the barricade, the curb. That's what I'm trying to think of. I'll get it eventually. Now, here's the replay from the pole sitter. You can see Owens actually got the better jump compared to these to Michi, and DT was right in there as well. Now, go up the inside there, and it must have been a little touch with those two, I dare say. We're going to have a look at it on board with the reigning champ. Here we go, on board with Owens. You can see he gets a nice jump there from second on the grid. We'll just slow it down here. You'll just see very slowly here. Now, I'm going to freeze it now. You'll see here they just have a little touch there with the right rear of Michi's car and the left front of Owens. But as you can see, it was only just the slightest of touches, really. I don't know whether a little bit of lag was involved as well, but that's the main reason why Owens got caught up in all that. Now, he's battling, I think that's Ikai was on the right, who's moved across to Toro Rosso this season. You just see the front wing damage. He's way at the back of the pack. And him and Oceania, you can just see, look at this. There's just absolute no turn in here. You probably would have told and seen in my SRL video with what happened with Neon Trito. You can see they're just locking up here, and man, this is going to be a long, long day for Owens. He does have the speed though, which is encouraging. So he's going to put on the soft tyres here. He'll be trying to go as long as he can and maybe put on the ultras a little bit later on. Whether he can take them for the rest of the 28 laps, I'm not sure. But there's another replay. We go with R8K, and I think that was Luxury Lizard, who's a bit laggy. And unfortunately, R8K was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and copped a little bit of front wing damage, and he's in the lane already on lap 2. So for a guy who won the Japanese Grand Prix last season and had some good pace, where did he finish up? I think he finished up in 5th in the championship last season, so shows you how good pace. But there's Oceania crashing out. So again, a few people getting caught out with that, I think, 11-12 section there. And lucky for Captain Farah to get away with that. But as you see now, lap 4, the gaps slowly but surely. I mean, it was stabilising the gaps a little bit between myself and Michi, but as we're getting the end of finishing the end of lap 6 on the lap 7 we go. We're a lot more closer to Michi this time. Do have a bit of DRS and Rich Mix. Oh no, we've lost WF on Ricardo, so on his debut run in AOR, it's not been the greatest of starts. We'll probably find a replay of it a little bit later on, but for the moment we're focusing on this battle with Michi, because we are really starting to claw our way in on Michi. He's just waiting for one mistake. That was the mistake. That was the one I saw, and just had a little dive up the inside. Had to really go through it on the dirty line there on Servant. Now we've finally got it done. That was one of my great moves up there with DT, and throughout this race, that was probably two of my favourite moves right there, which I was pretty pleased about anyway. But excuse me, as we go back with that Captain Farah. Oh no, he's run wide, and oh dear, it's not been a great debut for Captain Farah, and he's back in the lane early on, so I think he really wanted to get those soft tyres a long way, so he's going to put the super soft tyres on. Not a bad call, I must say. His point's still up for grabs, even if it's just the 1 point. You only need another retirement, so now you can see what happened with WF and Ricardo. Again, it's around that turn 12 section, thanks to RAK for that footage, but it seems to be a lot of turn 11, 12 section that keeps getting called out, and you see there the replay of Michi's on board. Just ran a little bit wide, and just had a little bit of a touch on the way out of the corner there, but finally got the move done, and you can see just he was still pushing on even though we've got the move done already on Michi. I really want to continue. Oh no, we've lost the legendary Steve Bingham. Conrad Strait is out of this race. Also another one on debut, but he has raced in other leagues before. You probably have seen that in my other league videos, but beginning lap 8, we're starting to pull away a little bit from Michi here. Not the greatest amounts, but you see here now we've got a pit stop already with DT coming in early on lap 7, so super softs for him. So going for the 2-stop strategy here, doesn't obviously feel confident on the 1-stop strategy. Now go back on board with my teammate. There's Conrad off to the right. Again, it's that turn 11, 12 section, so a lot of guys being caught out on it. But back we go with on lap 9. We're still pulling away from Michi, and there's a bit more of a battle going on. Back we go to both the Renault boys. You see Penske is under a bit of attack from his teammate here. There might be a positional change here very soon, because it looks like Zombie's got a little bit more pace. I think Penske's starting to feel the wears of tyre wear. I think now Penske, has let him go, so into this 11, 12 section. So Zombie has got good pace on those soft tyres. Penske might have a little look up here, but I think it'll be a long shot. Yeah, no, I don't think he's got enough there in the end. But yeah, here we are, still pushing on here. About to begin lap 10. This was the plan I had originally in motion anyway, even when I was practicing before this race. It was definitely still going to be the 1-stop, but I wanted to take the ultras as long as I could to see how long the softs would go anyway. But now Michi comes in on lap 9 for his, I think he's going for the 1-stop here. Yes, he is. Softs on for him, and away he goes. I think he originally wanted to do the 2-stop, but decided against it. But you see, even pushing on here, back we go to my point of view, and now to the end of the lap, where it's now time. I think these ultras have pretty much had it. Slowed it down as much as we could, and then we would come to do our one and only stop. Soft tyres on, and away we go. Which means Zombie takes the effective lead for the time being. We'll probably have to come in a little bit later on in the race, but he'll be one to watch. Don't you worry about that with those ultra softs. Definitely be pushing, but you can see coming out of the lane now, got plenty of fresh air between myself and Michi, so probably have maybe come out of it a little bit more than what we had. It doesn't matter, we're just warming up the tyres, but now back we go with my teammate who's starting to put pressure on RAK. It's just not been his race in for RAK. He's going to go for the outside line here. Is Owens. There's a little bit of contact between those two, and now he's got him. Now this time probably had a bit more drive, or I think R8 may have just given that spot back to him anyway. now we go to our POV, and a bit of a yellow flag back at the, what was it, between 7 and 8. I think this may have something to do with it. Here's a replay from RA. Well, it could have something to do with it, but RAK having a little look up the inside of Kaiwas. That was very lucky. It wasn't anything worse or another front wing damage, but okay, he gets a little caught up on the curves. Keep it off the wall, R8. Just kept it off the wall. Well done, very good. He's probably been on those ultra softs for, what has it been now, like 8 laps or something? So 8, 9 laps. So I think he knows those tyres are shot. So there's soft tyres for him, and away he goes. So I don't think he should be making any more pit stops throughout this race. And he's starting about to finish the end of lap 12. It gets a little bit caught up on the curb and just ran a little bit too wide, and more front wing damage for RAK. And, oh, Jesus, nearly hit the other wall there. That could have been easily a lot worse. But, yeah, it was a bit strange to see RAK's footage, to see him way down the field a little bit more. But super softs for him, and another front wing. So hopefully there's plenty of front wings. But we only have another 10 runners. So only have 10 runners in this field now. So, I mean, it's not too bad. Everyone will be scoring points today. But now the main goal for us was just to try and close the gap back to Zombie. It was, what was it, about 12 seconds gap on about lap 15. And you see now we go on to lap 16. We're slowly starting to bring that gap down to about 11 odd seconds. There was another yellow flag in front of us, so this might be why. Oh, Captain Farah, that's a little run off into the dirt. So, I mean, it's not all too bad. He will still get some points, but not great in his battle with RAK. We will be chasing it down in the end, but yeah, back we go to our POV. Again, the gap was just sort of coming down a little bit, but as we come on to start lap 17, it sort of gained a little bit by about a tenth, so which I was very surprised about. Jeff was asking me whether to change my strategy. I was not buying it whatsoever, but beginning lap 18 now, gap was slowly coming down to about 9 odd seconds, as RAK is just showing his true potential there with that fast lap of the race. Back we go again with Captain Farah. Oh no, he's, oh dear. It's just not been Captain's race, has it? He's now back in the lane again, so I think it's another set of super softs for him, and the front wing change. If he could have got a bit lucky, he may have got away with the ultra soft tyres, but maybe just felt a little bit more confident in the super softs, but away he goes. That's not going to help with his battle with RAK, but you see here just still pushing on as much as I can, just to try and get that gap down as much as I can. Again, pushing at that out of turn 9. By the end of lap 20, the gap was about 8.2 seconds, I think, from memory. So it was slowly but surely coming down, don't you worry. By the end of it, it was about 7.3 seconds. We're coming through that 11-12 section. I mean, I wasn't really pushing these tyres. I didn't want to burn these tyres a lot just so I can have enough for the end. Now Zombie comes in at the end of lap 20. He's going to be, watch out for him. He's going to be a bullet towards the end. Ultra softs are ready. On they go, and away he goes. So, yes, he may drop a few spots, but he's definitely going to be pacey, which I was a little bit concerned about, I must say. But now we take back the effective race lead anyway. Now we've got about 7 laps to hopefully keep that gap somewhere stable to where it was, because we did have a fair gap back to Mitchie. It was a bit toing and froing. Mitchie did get close in the end, but there's DT again for his second stop. So he's on the 2-stop, ultra softs, and away he goes. So there's going to be a battle between him, I think, and Penske, I believe. So look out for that one. And Owens comes in as well. So he's done really well to take those for about 19 odd laps. So, and again, another one going for the ultra soft tyres. So another one that's going to have pace towards the end of this race. So it's been a really good comeback from a teammate after having a not the greatest of starts. I don't know what the hell happened there. I just lost concentration a little bit. It just ran a little bit wide. It could have been a hell of a lot worse. I could tell you. But now we go back with Captain Farrow. There's a little bit of a tangle. Now, who was that? That looked possibly like Zombie Hunter and the Renault. They've had a little tangle. I mean, yes, Captain Farrow is lap traffic. Is trying to get out of the way as quick as he can. Didn't exactly help Zombie out. Oh, it's just a little touch. I mean, that's not going to help Zombie in his quest to try and chase me down. But yeah, now you can just tell with that pace he's using. He's now taking the fastest lap into the 23s. So, like I said, he's going to be a dead set weapon come later on in the race. But and I was just monitoring, seeing just how big those gaps were, and towards the end of the race to make sure. And I didn't want to, like I said, burn my tyres up. I wanted to have enough for the end just in case. Did have a challenge from Zombie, but it wasn't too bad to start with. Now back we go with Owens. He's putting the Ultra Softs to good use here, going on the move here with Kiowas. Up into, I think this will be P6. Yes, it is. So very, very easy for Owens. Definitely showing that pace. It should have been up there a little bit earlier. But you see, come under the lap 26. You see in the next couple of laps, I was setting personal bests. Even on fairly used rubber, I was actually very surprised. But you can probably tell from the graphic on the top left, the gap between Mitchie and Zombie was starting to close down a lot. But honestly, I was so shocked to have personal best times those last two laps. But yeah, he's Zombie getting a bit closer to Mitchie, and I think yeah, it's a little bit of a glitch there. But Mitchie's on the soft tyres, and I think Mitchie's just shown the white flag and said, I can't catch him. You may as well go get him. So it's basically going to be 2 laps to see if we can just keep this gap as much as we can to Zombie and see whether we can keep this race win. Because I didn't want to, you can see that just the tyre wear. I mean, it wasn't really too bad towards the end. I maybe could have pushed it a little bit more, but here we are, setting off for the final lap of the race. Zombie did close the gap a little bit, but I think it's a little bit too late for him. And a mighty fine effort from him nonetheless to get back up into P2 after starting 12th position. But yeah, like I said, DT was another one that had pace right at the end. He's putting a lot of pressure on Penske here. He's literally revving the engine out of this car. Hopefully he doesn't need a new one for the next round in China. Hopefully not. Hopefully he doesn't end up like a Daniel Ricciardo. But he looks up the inside here at the second last corner. Gives him a little touch. Might see if we can do the crisscross. Get a bit more drive. Does have DRS. Penske is just trying to break the slipstream a little bit. It's not really working here. I think DT's going to have to try around the outside into turn 1. How deep can he go to braking? He looks like he's got it. No, he's got caught up on the grass there. Penske's now back up the inside. This is a great battle even for position 4. Now DT sends it down here at turn 4. I hope it's turn 4 anyway. I'm not sure, but it might have been turn 3 actually. But yeah, still going between these two. A little bit of lag involved, but this is a great battle on the final lap. And this is effectively for more points. As I dare say, these two will be definitely fighting for constructors and helping out with their teammates. There was a little touch between them and turn 9. So there's nothing between it, but we're just going to might come back to that a bit later on. But you can see there, we're just bringing around the final corner, a couple of corners now. It's been a long, long while since this music you're hearing right now has played, but I'm glad it has, because what a start to season 2. The win in Australia. I was so happy with this one. I've got to do the ring, ding, 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 ding. What I was doing mostly, even with my only race win last season. But back we go to the battle for position 4 and 5. And the DT still putting a heap of pressure on Penske. A little bit of a bump there. Is he going to drive there? No, Penske covers him. There's a little bit of contact between those two. This is probably DT's last shot at getting position 4. Dives it up the inside. Not quite. Penske might just hold on unless DT has a bit more of a drive. He's still revving that engine out. But Penske's going to hold on just for position 4, and DT in P5. Great effort from those boys. Great battle from those guys in the end, but you'll see later in the race results there were a few time penalties, in post-race time penalties included. So yeah, there you go. That's what the podium looked like in the end. The Ferrari boys seem pretty happy. It's pretty much like a carbon copy to what happened to the real-life F1 2018 season with Ferrari winning. But you see there, it's myself, Zombie, and Michi on the top 3. Penske finished in 4th. Actually, Owens jumped into the P5 because DT had a heap of penalties up his sleeve. So, yeah, a bit unlucky for DT. Probably cut the corners a little bit too much. But I thank also Harry Ryan for these graphics. They look amazing. He's done a ripper job. So well done, Harry. But you can see there's the race results. So Penske 4th, Owens 5th, DT 6th, Kai was 7th, Luxury Lizard in 8th on debut, RAK 9th, and Captain Farah in 10th. The championship points is pretty much the same. You don't need to worry about that. Yeah, but yeah, not a bad stuff for Luxury Lizard. But constructors, Ferrari have a 5-point lead over Renault. Another 7 points back to Red Bull. Toro Rosso at 7, Mercedes 4, and Haas on 2. So, what a great start to the race 1 of Season 2 of AOR Oceania. I will leave a link down in the description if you do want to sign up. Please, I must ask you, have a decent internet connection. It's not going to help if you're going to be lagging throughout the whole race. But, yeah, if you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a big smash on that like button. Comment down below on what you thought about that race. Subscribe to my channel for plenty more AOR or any other league racing video on F1 2017, plus plenty more video gaming content, and all my social media links will be down in the description. But for the moment, guys and girls, it is goodbye, and I'll see you next time.